CPAP User's Guide to Dry Mouth and Nose. That's what AI is telling me I need to do this video on. And they're right. That's what you people are searching for. But what AI doesn't know is you people aren't searching up the right things. Give me a bit to explain, but I am at this point still AI's daddy. And AI needs a spanking on this one. So you all are complaining about a dry mouth, dry nose when using CPAP. And it's true. That is a big problem with PAP therapy use. But first, I don't want you guys to be left out. If any of you don't have a dry mouth or dry nose, it's probably because you don't have a CPAP machine or CPAP mask. And if you want to get one, you can get one at a very low price. Check out the sponsor of this video, cpapsupplies.com. They have tons of masks, tons of accessories, tons of machines, even though they're not compatible with my discount code. But you can use discount code LankySpring, save 25% off your order. Check out the homepage. Sometimes they have an even better coupon offer. They have tons of excellent services they offer on the front page. Check them out for yourself, but please check out the sponsor of this video, cpapsupplies.com. Okay, AI gave me a script for this. It's actual crap. It's really terrible. First, to understand why you have a dry mouth and dry nose while using PAP therapy, you first need to understand the mechanics of CPAP. This is going to be a surrogate system for your upper airway, with the iPhone on it being the obstruction. So your upper airway, let's get a little pressure in here. Your upper airway is collapsed. Not a lot of air is able to get through. Big collapse. The way PAP therapy works is it closes off the system, and it provides enough pressure to lift the obstruction out of the way. So now your airway is fully open, it's fully inflated, and whatever that obstruction is, this being base of your tongue, your jaw, your uvula, your soft palate, doesn't really matter what it is, it's just being pushed out of the way. Now if you decide, you know what, I don't need to sleep with my CPAP on, now it's just gonna drop, pressure's gonna drop off again, you're gonna suffocate until you say, oh, I better put my CPAP on again, fully inflates, you sleep like a charm. And this is where AI gets it wrong. It thinks that the solutions to dry nose and dry mouth are humidification. I will get to that in a bit. That is not the problem. So if I'm sleeping happily, CPAP is meant to be a closed circuit, meaning your mouth is closed, no air is able to escape other than out of the vents. Now, if you open your mouth, and I'm gonna rip this open, simulating your mouth being open or your jaw falling back with a full face mask, what happens is you create flow. You create flow through your nose, you create flow through your throat. It's supposed to be closed except for the vents. If I pop this open, you're gonna hear the CPAP increase, trying to compensate for the loss of pressure. And if it's shooting out of your mouth, what's gonna happen is all of this airflow goes through your mouth, goes over your tongue, goes through your throat, and it dries you out like crazy, also diminishing the effectiveness of your CPAP. So we now have the exact same pressure flowing, but look, it's collapsing. Your airway collapses, and I have a massive amount of air shooting out right here. Diminished CPAP effectiveness, and your mouth and nose are being dried out significantly. So what we need to do is seal your mouth, prevent jaw drop, and your iPhone will fall off the bag. No. Get rid of mouth leak, get rid of jaw drop, your airway stays inflated, you don't have air flowing over your mouth and tongue, diminishing the effectiveness of CPAP, and you stay moist. Something that you can try right now that helps illustrate this, everything's a closed system in here. But if I open my mouth and I allow air to flow, this is what's happening at night for you if you have a dry mouth or dry nose. If you ever hear that sound, you definitely have a mouth leak. If you're using a full face mask and you feel that or your cheeks are puffing out, you have a jaw drop leak. It's the same thing. You're gonna wake up with a dry mouth, you're gonna wake up with a dry nose. Now, how do you fix this? Essentially, it's by mouth taping or it's by preventing your jaw from dropping. I will link to a video that describes both of these in detail. I'll link to that in the description box. also in a pinned comment. But your problem isn't that your humidification isn't working, as AI will have you believe. Remember, if you just close the circuit, prevent air from escaping, prevent moisture from escaping, everything stays dry and you don't get that flow of air going in the nose, out the mouth, in the nose, out the mouth, or full face mask in the nose, everything just kind of out, everything. What AI says is you can use saline nasal spray to rehydrate your nasal passages. Yeah, that's something you can do after the fact, but if you don't even have the mouth leaking or jaw dropping problem, you're not gonna get dry anyway. Now, another main point AI wants me to say, as well as other people in the field, is that it's somehow a humidification problem. They say, wow, my humidifier tank is empty every morning. That's because it's going in your nose, out your mouth. It's venting into the environment. If you prevent that mouth leaking, your jaw drop leaking, all of this moisture stays right where it is. You might go through hardly any of it. You will go through a little bit because yes, there is some moisture loss just as I'm breathing now, but nowhere near as much as you'd have if it's just flowing through your nose right out your mouth. That's why there's these products that people try to hawk all the time. I think it's called C-Spring, but it's a little thing that continually feeds your reservoir with more water. More water ain't the problem. Your sleep is being jacked because of a mouth leak or a jaw drop leak. Now, another thing AI says is that cleaning your mask and cleaning your machine regularly will prevent your mouth from getting dry. This is why I am still AI's daddy. That makes absolutely no sense. You know what? AI is great at titling things and creating thumbnails for me. Content, not so much. Okay, so with that, sometimes your mouth can get dry. It can get dry from medication, and it can get dry just because maybe you live in a dry climate, especially during winter. If that is the case, I do find that a manual setting of humidification on like 1 is more than enough. But be warned, if you are taping your mouth, humidification is like the biggest enemy of it, as it will moisten the tape, cause the tape to peel off, and you'll have a giant mouth leak. Again, diminishing the effectiveness of your CPAP therapy or bilevel therapy, and also causing you to have a dry mouth. Now, what exactly does mouth leaking look like in a program such as Oscar? Pretty much like this. This is a good example of that leaking relationship. So little mountains and valleys right here. This is all mouth leaking. If we go to a different day, this is what I would call really severe mouth leaking. More likely to occur during REM sleep or REM breathing, but you can see how disruptive this is to sleep. Tons of awakenings simply because the mouth is opening. As soon as the leaking goes away though, you can see this is my dad. Still not on the right pressure. I'm working with him on that, but looks much better than when there is a high leak and the airway is really allowed to collapse. If you see mountains, mountaintops, mountain ranges, it is no good. It doesn't matter how high the leak is going. That is completely irrelevant. That is a falsehood that there's even that little red line there. Everyone says, oh, 24 liters per minute. As long as I'm under that, I'm good. That is not true. It will diminish the effectiveness of your PAP therapy and it will dry out your mouth. All right, PAPper people, I'm a registered polysomnographic technologist, otherwise known as a sleep tech. So if you want to have a PAP therapy analysis with me, check out my website, axgsleepdiagnostics.com. If you've tried all this stuff and you're like, God, it still isn't working, I still feel like crap, hey, hit me up. Slide into my DM. I'm just kidding. Order online, I'll reach out, we'll get you scheduled, take a look at your data, get you on the right track. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help out the algorithm. AI is doing all it can to help me out, my fledgling channel. I appreciate you guys for watching. Bye. Clean your stinky mask with some Mask Bright, available at Amazon. And time for an extra thick thanks, buddy, to my top-level supporters, Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Stuart Hetherington, Alan Liu, Edward Steiner, and I'd like to say thank you also to these people, as well as those other people. Up the ante, you get a shout-out. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Barely even on screen, but still appreciate the support.